We're another week close to the college basketball season tipping off, and I'm going to give you guys my top 10 winners from this past week. At number 10, I have Central Michigan. They landed Jesse Zarzuela in the transfer portal from Coppin State. Last year, he averaged 14.7 points per game, 3.3 assists per game, and 3.1 rebounds per game. He's a shifty, quick guard that should come in and be one of, if not their go-to player next season. Now, the reason they're not a little bit higher is because they also lost Kevin Miller this week, but nothing less. Getting Jesse Zarzuela is a huge pickup for Central Michigan. At number 9, I have UConn. They land Joey Calcutta in the transfer portal from San Diego. 2 years ago, he averaged 13 points a game, and over his career, he's a 35.7% three-point shooter. He is a much better shooter than the numbers show, though. He will provide a veteran leadership role in this locker room, and he also should be a reliable shooter and scoring option for UConn off the bench. At number 8, Duquesne. They get Joe Reese to transfer over from Bowling Green, and he was an 11-5 guy last season. With the addition of Joe Reese, Duquesne should now have the starting five locked in for next season. At number 7, Michigan. They land Joey Baker in the transfer portal from Duke, and they now get a replacement for Caleb Houston in a sense. He's a 40.5% three-point shooter over his 4-year career at Duke. He should come in and compete for that starting forward job for the Wolverines this year, or at least be a very reliable option off the bench for them. At number 6, BYU. They land Jackson Robinson in the transfer portal from Arkansas, and this is a player that was a former top 30 recruit. If he receives a waiver to be eligible to play this season, he should be a locked-in starter for this team. The only reason I don't have Jackson Robinson higher on my list is because we have yet to see him produce at the college level. But he is somebody that I would not be surprised if we look back on this list in a year from now. He was debatably maybe even the number 1 addition this week. At number 5, Texas Tech. They land Kerwin Walton in the transfer portal from North Carolina. He had a down year last year, but as a freshman, Kerwin averaged 8 points per game for the Tar Heels, as well as shot 42% from three. He is a great shooter, and at this point in time, I think he is the starting shooting guard for Texas Tech. Now, the only reason Kerwin wasn't higher on this list is because Texas Tech already does have a lot of guards on this roster, so his addition isn't something that necessarily had to happen, but we look at the most talented players this week, he very well could be in consideration for the most talented player that was added onto roster this week. At number 4, Kansas State. They land Desi Sills in the transfer portal from Arkansas State. Now, for stars, you get a great defensive player. He's a player that can produce on the offensive end as well. He's already done it at the high major level. But the biggest thing for me about adding Desi Sills to this locker room is what he's going to bring to that locker room. He's a high-energy player, a high-character guy. I think he's going to be huge for what this program is able to do this year. At number 3, Purdue. They land David Jenkins Jr. in the transfer portal from Utah. David Jenkins Jr. was a must-get for this program, and they landed him. He's a player that throughout his career has averaged 14.9 points per game. And this is also a move that now puts Purdue in position to once again be competitive in the Big Ten and potentially make a tournament run. At number 2, Pitt. Jeff Capel lands his prize recruit in Dior Johnson. Now, yes, I realize that there are a lot of surrounding things that go behind his recruitment and high school stuff and whatever you want to talk about there. But let's get down to the facts. Dior Johnson is one heck of a player. He's a top 25 caliber freshman heading into next season. This is a player that is more than capable of running the show at the point guard for Jeff Capel next season. I think he's a guy that you can expect to be a star, put on a show out there in Pitt. I think that this is a great fit for the two of them, and Pitt lands a big-time pickup that now gives Jeff Capel one of the more talented rosters that he's had since he's been the head coach out there. And at number 1, the Duke Blue Devils. They land Jacob Grandison in the transfer portal from Illinois. And let me just say this, John Shire, he's now put together one of the more talented Duke teams that we've seen before. This is the Duke Blue Devils team that is officially a contending team for the 2023 National Championship. And there you have it. That is my top 10 winners of the week.